Hi there, and welcome to Barely Educational, the language learning channel. I have a few questions to start today's video. What kind of student are you? Are you a book lover who devours books as fast as the Cookie Monster eats them? Or are you more like me, who the mere thought of opening a book would cause enough anxiety to pass out? Whichever type of student you are, I have great news. Today's topic is for you. If you love books, you will love studying with this approach. And if you don't, you might just learn why you hate them and how to have fun reading. So let's start today's lesson on extensive reading, also known as ER. Ooh, no, not that kind of ER. Okay, that's better. Man, I really gotta hire a better editor. Or shall I say, bearer. Anyways, you might be wondering why I chose to cover ER first. And I have two reasons. First, in ER, students are in complete control over their own learning. And second, it's a proven effective way to learn vocabulary and grammar. For teachers, ER is a powerful technique that encourages students to self-study, thus allowing you, the teacher, to sit back and relax. So what is extensive reading? Extensive reading is basically the polar opposite of the hard, boring reading you most likely did in school. Ugh, just thinking about it makes me want to pull my ears off. If I only could reach them, that is. Instead, ER requires 3 E's. Your reading has to be easy, engaging, and well, as the name suggests, extensive. Let me elaborate on each E. Number 1, easy. You want your reading to be easy and quick because you will need to do a lot of it to learn a language. So your reading should feel more like a smooth drive on a countryside road than a bumper-to-bumper congested commute to work. The text should be easy enough that you can guess new words and avoid using dictionaries while you are cruising through your reading. How can you tell if a book is easy? According to research, you should know at least 90% of the words in a text. Warring and Nations 2004 paper states that for extensive reading with the aim of language growth, the rate should be between 95 to 98%. As a rule of thumb, Mikuleki and Jeffries advise opening a book you want to read to a random page and counting the number of words you don't understand. If there are none, the book might be too easy and you won't learn as much from it. However, if there are more than 5, then the text might be too hard for now. Somewhere between 1 to 5 unknown words per page is the magic Goldilocks ratio. This isn't a hard rule and will depend on your level, but I wouldn't recommend reading books with more than 10 words you don't understand. Number 2, enjoyable. Your reading has to be enjoyable, engaging, and easy to prevent your learning from feeling like a chore. An enjoyable book will help you stay motivated. After all, you already did your time behind school bars, and you should live a little. Choose books that catch your interest and read to get information from the text, not to study grammar. Ideally, your reading should feel like a Netflix binge. Oh, just another page won't hurt, right? Ooh, yeah. Number 3, extensive. Last but not least, As the method implies, your reading should be extensive. This means reading a ton of books. To get the most out of your precious time, it's best to read a little bit every day than to cram all your readings in one go. For example, reading 5 minutes a day for 6 days a week is more effective than once a week for 30 minutes. This relates to how our brain retains information, requiring periodic exposure until the information becomes part of our knowledge. As a busy bear, it's hard to make a lot of time to study, but I always have a few spare minutes to read. That's not what I meant. Fine. That's where I do my reading. Happy now? So, what are the strengths of ER? ER is a fun way of learning vocabulary and grammar in context. As mentioned earlier, our brains tend to learn best through periodic exposure. According to Warren and Nation, readers usually need to encounter a word at least 6 to 10 times to learn it. The number of times will depend on the type of word, the frequency they appear, their complexity, and the student's level. Extensive reading naturally exposes students to words multiple times in various contexts, making it a great way of learning vocabulary. Moreover, typical textbooks tend to focus on one grammar point at a time. This is not only unnatural, it also usually doesn't provide enough review of previously learned ideas. So, by seeing the grammar out there in the wild, you can get a true sense of its purpose and natural use. Lastly, let's be honest. Learning languages takes a lot of time and effort. And even the eager beaver students may eventually lose motivation. So reading books that are enjoyable and easy can help you learn without feeling like you are studying. Next, let's discuss a few limitations with ER. First, extensive reading doesn't naturally encourage speaking and writing, so you may find it hard to communicate. One way to help you overcome this problem is by listening to the reading and then copying it as best as you can. You won't learn to communicate, but you can at least practice getting used to saying the words aloud. Another limitation is that ER may not be suitable for complete beginners. As Warren and Nation suggests, students need to know between 3,000 to 5,000 words to effectively read novels. This doesn't mean that you couldn't start with simple picture books. However, they may not be as interesting for adults. In summary, ER is a great way to learn words and grammar in an enjoyable manner. Remember the 3 E's. The text has to be easy, enjoyable, and extensive. Find a book that you are interested in reading at your level and have fun learning languages. For homework, write in the comments below what books you want to read or recommend reading in another language. I would like to say a special thanks to Dr. Robert Warren for introducing me to this teaching approach and giving me permission to share some of his excellent materials with you in the comments below. He's an expert in the field, and I highly recommend students and teachers to look at his materials. In my next video, I will share some practical ways for students and teachers to do extensive reading, as well as alternatives for those of you who still hate reading books. If you watched this far, I want to say my sincere thank you for watching, liking, and subscribing to my channel. Your support motivates me to keep making content and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. The Endo.